So what are you doing?
I'm making supper.
What's it made out of?
Black beans. It's vegan black bean chili soup. It's got black beans, jalapeno, onion, veggie broth, carrots, cumin, garlic. I can't remember the rest. We can post the recipe in the comments section below.
So is this our tiny house?
This is our tiny house.
Do you think this qualifies for a tiny house?
Definitely.
The 2 crock pots come in handy?
Definitely. As do the 2 refrigerators.
And I think we have, I put chickpeas in the black one right
For hummus.
there. So I can make hummus later. So we're going to make hummus. We're going to make hummus homemade or at home. We eat a lot of hummus. We like hummus. And it's expensive. Like a little container of it, like that is $4 at the grocery store. So 1 pound of dried chickpeas is like $1.67 or 87. And what I did was I put them overnight in the crock pot. So now they're good and soft. And I'm going to turn that off. So the first thing, take 2 cups of cooked chickpeas. It'd probably be easier in a blender. And the NutriBullet is a blender, but I mean with a traditional style blender, but this is what we have, so this is what we use. So 2 cups of cooked chickpeas and a 1/4 cup of tahini. This is a new jar of tahini. I should have stirred it up before I got it. Tahini kind of tastes like peanut butter, and I've actually made some good hummus using peanut butter. So in a pinch, if you don't want to cook the garbanzo beans, chickpeas, and do this with the tahini, you can make a really good hummus with 1 can of chickpeas, in the canned pre-cooked one, and about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, and then all the rest of the ingredients are the same. I'm going to stir this up. It really does taste like peanut butter, or pretty close to it. It has its own unique flavor, but it does. And so with 2 cups of chickpeas, I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of tahini. And all tahini is ground up sesame seeds, like all peanut butter is just ground up peanuts. So we eat a whole food, plant-based diet, and we eat as much organic as we possibly can. And one thing that happens is it gets expensive. So this will end up making about, for buying all the ingredients, which is about $4 to buy all the ingredients, it'll make about 2 large tubs equal to 4 of those $4 ones at the grocery store of hummus. And you know what's in it. You know it doesn't have GMO soy. A lot of them, they use, instead of olive oil, they use soy sauce. Not soy sauce, soybean oil. And if it isn't organic, it's probably GMO. Now, I'm just doing my best to be healthy, so I don't have too much of an opinion either way on GMO. There's a lot of people that say that it is good or that it isn't. I'm going to err on the side of caution and just say I don't need it. I can put olive oil in here and make it tasty and good and not have to worry about that. This jar of tahini will make about 4 of these containers of hummus. Let's see. So next, lemon. We had a squeezer. I left that behind. But this little thing works really good and keeps the seeds out. So does the other squeezer, but that'll work. And I like the lemon flavor, so I'm going to put a whole lemon in there. If you don't like as much lemon, use half a lemon. There we go. So there's our lemon. And then next we need garlic. And no hummus would be good without garlic. So I'm going to get a clove of garlic out of here. And just like the lemon, I like the garlic, so I'm going to put 2 cloves of garlic in there. If you don't like it as garlicky, it needs the garlic for the right hummus flavor. Just put 1 clove in. I'm not going to dice it up or anything. The blender, the NutriBullet will do that for me. I have found something with the NutriBullet and all blenders, you know, the friction will warm stuff up, and if you go too long and get the hummus too hot, it makes a strange flavor, and apparently I'm sensitive to it. Everybody else that I make it for seems to not be able to taste it, but I can taste it. So I kind of pulsate it. I'm just going to cut it into a couple of large chunks and let it sit and make sure that it doesn't get too hot from the friction of the blender, and you just don't want it to start steaming. So we'll put that in, and then lastly we need some salt. So we're going to put about 2. Let's see. And run in the propane, we have too much moisture in the air. So that's about 1 tablespoon there. I mean 1 teaspoon. And I like to put about 2 teaspoons. I probably eat a little too much salt. But since going on a full plant-based diet, my blood pressure is nice and low and under control, so I can stand to have a little salt. There we go. And let's see, olive oil. Careful with the oil. We would put in one tablespoon of olive oil. Nice thing about this is it is a lot cheaper, and you know all the ingredients that go into your food. You can pronounce all the ingredients that go into your food. You know, I looked on the back of the chickpeas. The only ingredient in the chickpeas? Chickpeas. The only ingredient in the tahini, which this is Sadoff. We are in Big Timber right now, and we drove to Billings yesterday for a grocery run, and they had that at Walmart. So I can't be too picky about what we find in Billings, but I'm happy to have found tahini anyway. We were using the Simply Organic tahini from Kroger when we had Kroger in Houston, but either way, it works. You know, I know where my lemon juice comes from, I know where my salt comes from, and the only ingredient on the olive oil is 100% olive oil. So now, I'm going to put the NutriBullet lid on there and blend. It's going to get a little loud. Now, the last secret to good, creamy, flavorful hummus is aquafaba. You're like, what is aquafaba? Aqua, water, faba, beans. It's bean water. And something really cool about aquafaba from chickpeas or garbanzo beans is it can be used as an egg substitute in any recipe. You can make whipped cream with it. You can make just about anything that you needed to make with eggs, and it's good. So we're going to get that back in there. And let's see. We had a children walk in. Hey children, come here.
Yes.
Taste the hummus.
Mm.
Is it good hummus?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I'm going to make it a little creamier, and then that's going to go into a bowl. And then we're going to make another batch. So, we know that, well, we get asked a lot, how do we afford it? Is it expensive? How can you get the stuff that you do? And a lot of the way that we do it is we make our own. You know, bread, even organic breads have all kinds of junk and chemicals in it. Have you ever wondered why bread doesn't mold anymore? How you can buy bread from a grocery store, organic bread, put it on your counter, take a month to eat it, and it never grows mold, whereas, you know, when I was a kid, you put bread in a bread box, and if you didn't eat it all in a week, it started to mold a little bit. Well, that's because they put chemicals in it to kill the mold. And you're like, hey, that's great. Well, mold is a living organism just like you are. So if there's chemicals in there that kill the mold, what's that doing to you? So we started making our own bread. It's really easy. I mean, I have a bread maker. It takes all but about 7 minutes to put all the ingredients in there. I have a 5-ingredient bread. And a couple hours later, out pops a loaf of bread. I don't really have to do anything else. But that's how you afford it, because we like the Dave's bread. And Dave's makes great bread. In Houston, it was $7 a loaf. $7 a loaf. And the organic breads, even at Walmart, are $5 and $6 a loaf. No. You know, I figured out that when I make my own bread, flour, water, honey, salt, and yeast, 5 ingredients, it costs us about $1.50, and I use organic flour and all natural honey. So unless they're genetically modifying my water, I think we're good. But that's how you afford it. And none of this really takes very long. I mean, you saw how quickly that we made hummus, and this hummus will beat the flavor of anything that you can buy at a store. Anything. Super easy to make. Crock pots have become our friends, and it works. So, you know, if you want to get into this lifestyle and get the health benefits from this lifestyle, then you're going to have to make some compromises. You can buy everything, but if you do that, you're going to be spending money, and it can get expensive. But if you buy just a few easy ingredients that most people will have, you know, the only thing you may not have in your kitchen that you have to go buy is tahini and chickpeas. And even then, if you don't have a source for tahini, just use a good peanut butter and chickpeas, and you can make a really tasty hummus. But that's just one of the ways that we do it in our new tiny kitchen.